Joanna Kern's Growing Pains is a real-life reflection.
To Bill Bixby, true confession is only a job.
And to Klaus Maria Brandauer, the fight game is his ticket out of Africa.
Those stories and a whole lot more coming up for Friday, the 22nd of August, 1986. For the 1,290th time, this is Entertainment Tonight. Hello, everyone. I'm John Tesh.
And I'm Mary Hart. If you like surprises, our top story is right up your alley. The ABC series Growing Pains is full of them. It's a surprise hit, it's a surprise entry into the top 10, but nicest surprise of all, success has patched things up in real life between the lead actress and her sister. Dale Harimoto reports.
By the time Donna De Verona was 17 years old, she'd broken 18 world records in swimming and had 2 Olympic gold medals. She'd become everyone's sweetheart. Everyone, that is, except her sister.
She was the golden girl. And it's interesting, I think in any family, there's sibling rivalry. I mean, if you have an older brother that shoots more baskets than you want to be like him. I think I had a lot of that going, but then I had kind of something that was just insurmountable. I couldn't be Donna.
As every major magazine showered De Verona with attention, her kid sister tried to grab some of that attention.
I remember when Donna was doing an interview for, I think it was Life magazine, I can't remember, but she was in the room having the interview, and I just decided to walk through the room on my hands. I mean, look at me, look at me.
I don't remember being annoyed about that particular incident. I do remember being annoyed when she used to play the piano loudly when I was trying to sleep. And I would walk out of the room and I'd say, Joanna, you know I'm trying to get my sleep because I have a big workout tonight. And she'd say, well, I have to practice my piano.
Kearns tried to make her mark as a gymnast, and though she was too tall for the sport, she made it as far as the Olympic trials.
What was tough about that was, in my own eyes, I couldn't pat myself on the back for having come that far, for having done that, because I didn't get a gold medal. I mean, my standard was a gold medal, like Donna.
She was injured a lot, and she kept going back, and every time she got injured, she blamed herself, because she thought she was failing on purpose, and she didn't know in her own mind which it was. And during that time, I'd retired. And I was there for her. I used to go visit her and talk to her and take her away, and we'd talk about this thing. But it was a struggle for me because I know she felt she was letting everybody down.
No, I can have fun here, really. I'll just do the laundry, maybe clean a few toilets.
Finally, Kearns turned to acting. Her success didn't come overnight, but she believed it could happen, thanks to her sister.
Her success made me dream. I mean, when you live in Santa Clara, how many girls get to swim for the Emperor of Japan or go to Europe or around the world or all those things? The fact that she did that gave me the confidence and at least the naivete to go to New York and say, I'm an actress and I'm going to audition for you and I'm going to get a Broadway show. And I did.
Carl, that was a sweep that has...
Today, De Verona enjoys a successful career as a broadcaster on ABC Sports. One of her biggest fans, and one of her toughest critics, is her little sister.
She'll say to me, oh, Donna, your hair looked terrible. Can't you get your act together? Can't you comb the back of your hair? Listen, I'll get you a hairdresser.
Donna and I are really each other's biggest supporters now. I mean, we probably talk every day. And we're both doing very well in separate fields, and it feels good.
I'd like to be, just wants to be, my older sister.
It's a real refreshing, upbeat story about this business.
A lot of talent in that
and
family.
2 interesting people, yeah.
We have some surprising news from the Far East today, and it has to do with the balance of trade. Japan's most popular DJs are imported. We buy their cars, they buy our disc jockeys.
For years, the most popular radio station in Tokyo has been one where only English is spoken.
I'm Marine Staff Sergeant Rick Randall. Got lots of music for you, have a request for you, and it's Billy Joel's latest, Modern Woman.
The station is FEN for Far East Network, and it belongs to the U.S. Armed Forces. It has always dominated the ratings, but now has stiff competition.
It's
6 o'clock, this is the Pop Music Station with Katrina here on a Tuesday night.
26-year-old Katrina Severson from Cleveland was selected from among 100 American DJs. For 3 years on FM Osaka, she's been building her audience and her station's ratings.
By having a disc jockey from another country come, they feel they have some sort of connection with the other world, and they can see how other people are thinking, what other people do, and also see how I've reacted to their culture by living here. 明日の最高気温は30度, and our low will be 23 degrees. Look for also very humid weather. Pet Shop Boys coming up next on Pop Music Station. By the second week here, I could read Japanese, and I was also speaking with an Osaka dialect. So I just fit right in. Can we find the song, Nights in White Satin? Yeah. Do we have long version? Just the short version?
Yeah, just a short version.
Oh, okay.
Her Rush Hour show reaches some 900,000 listeners and brings her a flood of mail. Her mixture of English, Japanese, and rock music is proving to be just the right mixture.
When something like my program or Finn comes along and we just rock their socks off, hey, they're going to listen.
RCA has announced a new split-screen video cassette recorder that could solve those family squabbles over whether to watch a movie on tape or a live football game. The new machine will let you do both at the same time. One is a smaller picture imposed in the corner of the larger screen. RCA says the new machine, made in Japan, will be available in the United States in October. And for split-screen fans who favor cartoons for their half, Leonard Maltin has mini news.
According to the Chinese calendar, it's the year of the tiger. According to Disney, it's the year of the mouse. Minnie Mouse.
Hello. Hello. Who are you? I'm nobody. If you got no folks, nobody. Just an asshole, just nobody. Me too. Guess we're both nobodies.
Some nobodies. Minnie Mouse has been a star since she first skipped onto a movie screen in 1928. She immediately won the heart of Mickey. They're the same age, you know, and proved her versatility in film after film. She even made a graceful transition to Technicolor. But now, Minnie is sporting a brand new image. She's now. She's hot. She's totally Minnie. She's been featured in a special parade all summer long at Disneyland. And she's featured in an array of fun fashions that are due to hit the stores this fall. Fashions that show Minnie on the cutting edge of chic. And a variety of styles that prove Minnie can be as versatile in the fashion world as she's always been on screen. You've come a long way, Minnie, and after years of living in Mickey's shadow, you've finally taken the spotlight yourself. Totally. Leonard Maltin, Entertainment Tonight.
Next, more Amour, a man and a woman 20 years later.
Ahead, Bixby's back, true confessions from Eddie's father and the Hulk's alter ego.
Here's the latest buzz on movie openings. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 opens today. Touch and Go with Michael Keaton and Maria Conchita Alonso opens in selected theaters. Extremities, starring Farrah Fawcett, opens around the country. And Rob Reiner's Stand By Me, which has already opened in selected theaters, opens across the rest of the nation.
Well, that's what's coming your way today on the big screen. Now coming your way on the small screen, Barbara Hauer with the New York Report. Barbara?
Mary, word around town today is that the Dustin Hoffman Warren Beatty movie Ishtar won't be released in November as expected, but is now slated for sometime in the spring. The Elaine May film about the escapades of a couple of no-talent performers stranded in the African desert is obviously stranded somewhere along the line at Columbia Pictures. Perhaps the problem is that Hoffman and Beatty aren't sufficiently convincing as no-talent performers. More believable will be hot star Robert De Niro as the ice-cold gangster Al Capone in Paramount's upcoming Brian De Palma film, The Untouchables. While it's strictly a supporting role for De Niro, he'll have to put on a few pounds to play the legendary Heavy. Another Broadway musical opened last night, called Rags. It stars opera singer Teresa Stratas as a plucky turn-of-the-century immigrant who's determined to rise above a sweatshop existence in the garment district.
Look there at the clothing so fine, like a book there. Why, there's a Chinaman. See that lady. Where did she find all those eggs? Look at that one. No, don't. You could see her legs. That's not a town there. Down there, tumbled and twirled. No, that's a brand new world there. Look at us in a brand new.
In this morning's reviews, the New York Times hailed Miss Stratas as a highly welcomed immigrant to the popular stage. The Daily News stated that the new rags don't wear well, while the New York Post said it teeters on the edge of banality, but is saved by a superb cast. USA Today allowed us how the production is rich in beauty, but ragged on plotting. But as always, it's really up to the audience to decide if rags become fashionable. John?
Thank you, Barbara. It was one of the most popular love stories of the 60s. It gave the world a classic love theme to hum along with. And in 1966, A Man and a Woman took home an Oscar as Best Foreign Language Film. Royal Kennedy reports director Claude Lelouch's Man and a Woman are back 20 years later.
The love story of the race car driver and the movie Script Girl was a smash hit when it first opened, and A Man and a Woman has aged gracefully into a screen classic. Stars Anouk Aimée and Jean-Louis Trintignant have aged well, too. Director Claude Lelouch has reunited them with much of the same cast and crew on the same locations as 20 years ago.
I love working with Claude and Jean-Louis Trintignant, and it was such an experience 20 years ago that it was like, you know, you had a big love and you want to see after many years to try how it's going to be again.
Were you worried about being compared with yourself 20 years ago?
I didn't think of that, because if I had thought of that, maybe, I don't know, it would make things complicated. The only thing is, it was an adventure I wanted to go with. It was exciting.
In those 20 years, Trintignant's character has downshifted from racing to managing others, while Aimé's character has risen from script girl to producer. Lelouch believes that mirrors the changes women have undergone in the last 2 decades.
This is something that women have finally understood now, which is that continuing to work and doing work they like keeps them younger, which before is what men used to do.
The movie business has changed, too. The sequel to this $100,000 classic cost $8 million to produce and isn't faring well in France. Lelouch is hoping American audiences will help him turn a profit, and then, perhaps, he'll consider another remake.
When you put a couple together, and if this couple works together, the magic is created. 20 years from now, it will still be magic.
Another return as David Crosby goes back on the stage. Bill Bixby talks of True Confessions. Those stories and a lot more when we come back.
Check your local listings for the correct time this weekend for a special edition of Entertainment This Week, An Hour with Paul McCartney. Barbara Hauer and the rock superstar set the record straight on the Beatles, McCartney's own music, and his family life.
I'm normal when I go home. I'm not Paul McCartney. I'm not rich. I never got busted there. I'm just Dad.
Here's the ET Digest for Friday, the 22nd of August. New in the record store, Press to Play from Paul McCartney. New on home video, the animated Care Bears Movie 2. And in concert today, Petula Clark at the New York State Fair in Syracuse.
The long and winding road David Crosby has been traveling finds the musician in Los Angeles today, transferred on parole from a halfway house in Houston. Crosby had been in the halfway house for 2 weeks after serving 9 months in a Texas prison on drug and weapons charges. Last night, Crosby marked his return to performing, joined on stage by old friend Graham Nash.
She walked down through the garden in the morning after it rained.
Crosby made a surprise appearance at a Houston nightclub where Graham Nash was performing, and the two played some of their old classics.
Peacocks on the rain.
was a tip-off that Crosby would perform when the scheduled show times were moved up to coincide with his curfew times.
David said, "I'm the happiest man in the state of Texas tonight." You know, he's really ecstatic to be able to walk on stage and play music 3 days after he gets out of prison. So he's really in great spirits and doing very, very well.
The Man in Black signed on the dotted line this week. Johnny Cash, who was dropped by Columbia Records last month after 28 years with the label, this week signed a new record deal with Polygram.
Bill Bixby has starred in The Incredible Hulk, played Eddie's father, best friend to My Favorite Martian, as well as a newsman and a magician. Now, as Dale Harimoto reports, he gets to play himself.
This year, more than 100,000 American women will learn.
Bill Bixby is host of True Confessions, a daily half-hour syndicated show premiering September 8th, based on true stories from the magazine of the same name.
These are real stories. They have 68 years, I believe, of all the stories that were ever in the magazine to convert to television. That's a staggering amount of drama, and no one can say that's too theatrical because, in fact, the stories are based on absolute truth.
Will you still want to hold me when the bandages are off? When the chemotherapy makes my hair fall out and I have blotches on my skin and I can't stop shivering or vomiting?
Yes.
No, you won't. You won't even want to look at me.
Bixby has starred in 5 television series since 1963, many of which are still in syndication.
If you want to see yourself grow old in quantum jumps, watch yourself with years separating each one of these television series. It's not very nice, but it was interesting.
When we get back, Don Johnson and his new do, Joan Rivers and her new suit.
Don't forget Klaus Maria.
Yes, and Klaus Maria Brandauer and his new ring. That and more after this fashionable timeout.
This weekend, Entertainment This Week presents An Hour with Paul McCartney. Barbara Hauer and McCartney talk about his personal life, his career, and his relationship with John Lennon.
I'll tell you one nice thing was that after John died, in all this kind of chaos, Yoko took the time out to kind of let me know that he loved me.
Celebrating birthdays today, Tears for Fears' Roland Orzabal is 25. Cindy Williams, 38. Valerie Harper is 46. Newscaster Morton Dean, 51. Author Ray Bradbury is 66. And bluesman John Lee Hooker is 69.
And you thought making movies was glamorous? Well, consider this. Instead of having Robert Redford and Meryl Streep as co-stars, Oscar nominee Klaus Maria Brandauer is working with a couple of sweaty boxers. Eric Burns reports Brandauer's gone from out of Africa into the ring.
The choreographed boxing scenes in Streets of Gold are just like the real thing. There's a smoke-filled arena, thousands of cheering fans, and plenty of punching. But at first, what the film didn't have was actors who knew much about boxing.
Did you know anything about the fight game before this movie?
None. When I was in boys camp, I was about 7. I got knocked out.
The real fight, I cannot understand even now, because, you know, to beat up another human being, that's for me really very strange to understand, and I tried my best to get it.
Klaus Maria Brandauer overcame his unfamiliarity with the sport to play a Soviet immigrant who finds a niche in America training young fighters. For him, the performance is important. This is his first leading role since Out of Africa brought him an Academy Award nomination and a big career boost.
I got international, just German heavies or Nazi officers or SS generals and something like that. And now after Out of Africa, it was not anymore necessary to talk about such projects and offers. Now I can take other possibilities, other parts.
But his new film's biggest bout will be the one for recognition, as the producers attempt to box in the shadow of Rocky, the most successful series of fight films ever made.
Boxing is really just a vehicle, a metaphor. It's not a boxing story per se. It's a brotherhood story about these 3 guys. And I think if we can let people know that and show the faces and the feelings and the tones of these 3 characters, I think that they would see it as that it's not a Rocky picture.
The opening round for Streets of Gold and its battle for an audience will come when the film opens November 14th.
In today's People Postscripts, authorities for a Los Angeles hospital still declined to issue a statement on the condition of Forrest Tucker. The actor collapsed yesterday, moments before his star was dedicated on Hollywood's Walk of Fame. Joan Rivers has filed a $1 million damage suit against a female impersonator she claims is using her material in a show at an Atlantic City casino. Rivers filed a similar suit last week against another entertainer in Las Vegas. Jim Brown, the football star turned actor, was arrested today on charges of felony spousal abuse. Los Angeles police said Brown's live-in girlfriend reported he had beaten her in the home they share in the Hollywood Hills. And the producers of Miami Vice have some hair-raising news to share. Don Johnson will debut the fall season with a new look, a shorter hairstyle described as conservative spike.
Conservative spike?
Mm-hmm. What is that?
It's a lot like jumbo shrimp, right? This weekend, Entertainment This Week presents an hour with Paul McCartney, and it will be special. Barbara Hauer went to England to talk with McCartney about his years as a Beatle, his own music, and his personal and family life.
The summer music season is in full swing in Hollywood. Last night at the Hollywood Bowl, Zubin Mehta led the Israel Philharmonic Orchestra in Mozart's Concerto No. 3 for violin and orchestra. Performing the Rondo Allegro, soloist Shlomo Mintz. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.